Welcome back everyone, and welcome back to Is It Clickbait, the series where you guys send me any educational League of Legends content and I go over it to see if it's clickbait or does it actually work. Sometimes there's things out there that doesn't really help you and you guys might struggle, and it might not just be you, it might just be the content. So if that's how you feel about some content out there, send it to me in the description below. The comments below. And then DM me on Discord if you guys don't want to do it through the comments. But without further ado, this video is Hector's Advanced Macro Concepts You Need to Learn. This is a skill capped video. I don't know who Hector is, but if you guys watch skill cap, maybe you guys do. And on top of that, I made a macro video a couple of days ago. If you guys haven't checked it out, please feel free to check it out. It's where I go over macro, pretty much, you know, what it is, how we apply it, and things like that. And so I just thought, oh, this one would be pretty cool to see if we have our videos lined up. As I always say, these are not diss videos or anything like that. I'm simply just going over them and separating fact from fiction. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Months and months of convincing, but it's finally happened. We got Hector to play League of Legends again. A great weight has been lifted from some of our WoW players. They really didn't deserve what they had to endure for so long.
Okay, so this person used to play League, doesn't play League anymore, but now he's coming back into League, and he already has a macro concept you need to learn, I guess. The game always changes. I don't know how long they quit. I'm going to assume it's not that long considering they just act like he's not good at WoW, so.
Lucky for us, we get treasures like these back. There's nothing quite like failing to execute a cheater recall appropriately and then trying to make up for it by committing your flash to ensure that the freeze still occurs. Now that he's back, we'll be letting him play in high elo until he gets challenger back before sending him to the dumps once again. For now, let's take a look at some macro decisions in his recent games, which are all around masters or higher elo. He's been off grinding some high elo for once, and we really couldn't be more lucky. I mean, just look at that. If that isn't peak League of Legends, we don't know what is. Anyway, let's get right into the guide. So get ready, we're kicking things off with a question very quickly. Let's get a feel for the game first though. Everything is pretty standard as far as mid-game macro goes. He's just pushing toward a solo lane to get solo farm, which is as simple as it gets. Okay, he's pathing, cool, that's it. That's what we're gonna talk about. Did you catch the decision that he made? If so, why did he do it? This is a higher level concept, so we're definitely not looking for a simple answer here. Rewind if you want to see it again.
Okay, let me see if I can figure this out. Because, I mean, hey, if I don't try to do what you guys try to do, what's the point, right? Let me try to play the game.
Pathing,
let's see.
Which is as simple as it gets. Okay, he's pathing, cool, that's it. That's what we're gonna talk about. Did you catch the...
Looks like he's checking to see if Lux is going to push the wave. He knows Lux is there. We don't see anybody else on the map. So he doesn't want to overextend and maybe get caught in the bush. So he decides to take Krugs and lets her push the wave. Maybe. I mean, there's nobody around dragons, so therefore they're not really set up for it. So I don't really know what's happening here. But just because he makes a decision doesn't mean you guys make the same decision. Macro is definitely something that manipulates based off what games, what champions, and things like that, situations. So I already don't really like the direction this game is going, considering that this question is supposed to tell you specifically what to do in or what to do and what not to do. Because like I said, every game is different, but maybe he'll explain it differently. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see.
The decision that he made. If so, why did he do it? This is a higher level concept, so we're definitely not looking...
Let's just fast forward till he answers.
Minion buffs is a concept that we've taught before, but we haven't really gone over it super in depth. And a reason for that is that only really try-hard professional players tend to consistently think about it. In this specific case, Hector made two decisions based on what he saw. First, he immediately looked at the minion buffs once he glanced over the wave. He saw that his own wave was a bit stronger at this point in the game. Also, the enemy wave was already slightly damaged before they collided. Although the enemy wave is closer to the enemy's side of the map, these two minor advantages mean that his wave is likely to push toward the enemy team rather than back to him. Thus, if he were to do Krugs immediately here, then he was afraid that the wave is likely to look like this by the time he's done with him. That's a fair bit of farm missed, and even more minions will die by the time he actually gets back over to the wave. So, his initial goal was to go toward the wave first, fix it, and then loot back to Krugs if there's nothing going on the map afterwards. But the second that he saw Lux on the minimap heading toward bottom, he immediately clicked toward Krugs. The change in decision is obviously because Lux is going to kill this wave, so there's no rush to head over there anymore. He can do Krugs without missing any minions at all. Let's just quickly point out that maybe this wasn't the best macro play available.
Yeah, I was gonna say what?
Thinking about at that moment though. The dragon was spawning, and he probably should have been posturing with his team to get better positioning around it, as it was the mountain dragon, the most valuable one of them all. That's definitely a fair point, but his excuse was that he's just super focused thinking about this concept and trying to master it, and everything else is just taking a back seat right now. He believes understanding this can definitely have a very strong impact on your macro choices if you pay close enough attention to it. For
I don't know. It's one of those things where someone says something and then to cover their own butt, so to speak, they say something else to be like, yeah, but also, like, I feel like that's what I'm getting at. Like, I feel like I'm being taught something that if it doesn't work, or, you know, you should have been doing that anyway. So now, which one do I do then? I don't know. I don't know. Like, I like it and I don't like it because of that. I'm covering my own butt, right? Because that, I don't like that. That just makes it seem like, I don't know. I don't know, man. As far as the macro choice goes in terms of what he did, like, you don't really need to think about all that. Once again, even he says it, something that really only pro players and really high elo players do. There's no reason to incorporate that in your play, just because of the fact that you'll learn that eventually. It's not something you have to focus on right now. And the little stuff, like the little stuff that, I guess the more broader picture is just simpler to grasp, simpler to understand, and just something that doesn't really necessarily need you to think about the buffs and the thing like that. Just look at the wave. Do you have more minions? No? Okay, then it's going to shove towards me. Do they have more minions? I mean, if I do have more minions, it's going to shove towards them. Given the fact that there's nobody on the map, there's no reason to go there because they could just be hiding in a bush. So you don't want to overextend. So just making this simple. Don't overextend if there's no vision to get CS. And if someone's going to shove the wave, wait for them to shove the wave and then collect the CS. Don't overextend for it. Like I said, it's very simple, but the way that some of these videos like manipulate things and making it seem like it's a much broader picture, especially because it's like, you don't really need to know it, but it just sounds so nice to tell you it. You know what I mean? Like, you think about this type of stuff without actually making names for it. One thing that I think about is like orb walking. I used to orb walk before I even knew what it was. And eventually I learned, like, oh, orb walking is, I've been doing that, right? It's kind of what's going on here. Like, they're putting names on something you already do to make it seem like you don't do it, but you actually probably do it. Does that make sense? As far as looking at the buffs, and like I said, I mean, it doesn't really matter how many minions do they got, for real. Like, unless you're specifically playing to be a pro player and stuff like that, or you're playing to be a challenger, like, that's something you could just pass up. I don't really like that.
example, this is an old replay, but a very good example of how it can be used. Hector lost lane ridiculously hard, first time it's ever happened, and this should usually be an FF at 15 go next kind of game. But your opponents winning too handily can sometimes be used against them.
Or would it be go next? It's 1-6. Well, now it's 1-7, but why would it be go next? Because he intent what?
The proximity of the wave to his side of the map, allowing his reinforcing waves to arrive first. This wave would usually be pushing away from him toward the enemy team. Normally, it'd be in his best interest.
He didn't really. I'm just saying inted, but he didn't really. He just lost lane like you said. But I don't think that's a forfeit game, especially playing a scaling champ like Ezreal. That's weird.
To immediately go fix it, so it can't be frozen against him. But he's already typed that he'll actually be the one freezing. That's because the enemy wave is significantly stronger than his own, so it's breaking conventional minion rules. He had already predicted it would be pushing toward him instead. Knowing that he doesn't need to fix it, he instead secures vision so he can safely freeze without dying.
Once again, you see, more minions means that you'll push towards you. So look at the wave compared to this one. This wave right here is the wave that the red side has right now. I mean, does that make sense? Like, I'm sorry, that didn't make sense. The red wave killed the blue wave, or at least some of it, and then this is the catch up of the blue wave. So let me try to make this make a little bit more sense to you guys, because I don't even know what I'm saying in this sense of directions. Okay, let's draw this here. All right, so the wave, this is wave one, right? Wave one, this is part of wave one. Their wave one is kind of into this mix, and their wave two is into this mix, right? So this is wave one. Their wave one's right here, and also wave two is basically connected, right? Their wave two is coming, and it's a full stack of minions. Therefore, more minions equals it's going to push towards us anyway. as I said, everything that's explained is just more stuff to put on your brain that you don't have to worry about, and you're just taking away of the stuff that should keep you that is keeping you from climbing. Like, this is not keeping you from climbing, I guarantee. I've coached master players that have no clue about wave manipulation. So if they can get the master, you can too, buddy. So it's just a lot of extra nonsense. More minions pushing means it's going to push towards the other direction. That's all you have to really think about.
Knowing that he doesn't need to fix it, he instead secures visions.
As you see, wave 2 does show up down there.
Can safely freeze without dying. Thanks to the fact that the enemy wave was so much stronger than his own, he was able to maintain a freeze down here for quite...
And I'm not saying what he's spouting is nonsense. I'm just saying you don't need to know the buffs of the minions to calculate if it's going to push towards you, if it's not going to push towards you. Does that make sense? Like, that's just more added to the plate that you don't have to learn about, that you don't need to learn about, and stuff like that. So I wouldn't necessarily focus on that.
A while, which eventually helped him to catch back up in the game. The tricky thing about this topic is when situations get really complex. There's 3 factors to consider on how over...
Okay, I don't want to waste your guys' time, so I'm going to just kind of pass through this part about waves, because it doesn't really make much sense, and it doesn't really matter. So we're just going to skip it. Okay. What's the next topic about?
Let's take a look at some more immediately applicable concepts. Let's jump over to a Malzahar game for some nice and relaxing R-key gameplay. During the game, he managed to push out the wave in mid and then rotate over toward top lane to set up a gank onto the Poppy. Okay. Afterwards, he recalls and discusses not what he's doing well, but rather what Orianna is doing poorly.
Orianna's making a lot of mistakes. 1, she went to Dragon when she wasn't really needed to go there. 2, she didn't base here, which technically gives me another free roam timing. I could even cancel her base if I can catch up to her and really make her life miserable. I'm going to pretend I'm not walking up, which might bait her into thinking I'm not walking up, and then I will walk up, and then she's completely bound because she's going to miss the next wave for no reason.
All true. All true. Don't disagree with anything. All true. I definitely think that she should be backing a little bit more towards her tower. Just for the sake of the argument here, I'm going to just look up the name of this. I'm not doubting that this is a master game or anything like that. I just want to do it for context of the video. All right, I thought that was him. Okay. So this season he hasn't reached D1. I mean, this season he hasn't reached his master goal. He's just kind of stagnating. And I'm not blaming him for being, you know, oh, he has a 49% win rate. I'm not flaming him for being this, right, at all. I'm not saying, oh my god, this guy sucks so much. I'm just looking at the tier graphs and stuff and just seeing, like, he hasn't hit Grandmaster or Master since season 9. Maybe he hit it in 2020 and he just started decaying. I don't like how they branded it as a Master type of, like, elo. I guess some of these games are in Master, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of Diamond players in these games too, so I don't really like that. And yeah, and this is why I kind of don't like stuff like this, because I don't know, like, what's the point of just, you don't need to say it's a master level or tier game. Like, just make the video, man. Right? You don't have to say, well, this is this. They did, like I said, they did say he took a break. He hasn't been challenger though, so maybe he was challenger in like season 8. So it's interesting that they said he's gonna get, I don't know. I feel like the video is just branded to make you think, oh, this dude's a god, and this is what you need to know because this dude's a god, and it enforces an idea of, like, he's so good, I gotta do his stuff too. When, like I said, like, there's players that don't think about any of that gets to where he is. Like, there's different things for different individuals that make them have a hard time climbing. I won't say I cannot, but I don't coach one student and then coach the same student, even if they play the same champion, on the same concepts. Everybody's different, every player's different. So the fact that they call this concepts you need to learn, no, you don't need to learn all that. Concepts you need to know are the broader aspects of, okay, they have more meanings than I do, it's going to shove towards me. That is a concept you need to learn. But, like, buffs and stuff like that doesn't really make much sense to me. And then as far as this goes, yeah, he shouldn't have been backing there. He should have already just backed. I won't say that the player did stuff wrong there, because I don't know. I don't know what particularly happened in it. We didn't get to really see much. We just go off of what he's saying. Let me see if I can go back though. So this is not the high. This is not an elo game that I was told that it was. So we were already lied to. Right here, she backed at the proper time, and
Ultimately a huge mistake.
she lost no minions. She was there in time. So like that, none of that made sense. She still outwaved this dude. Not saying that he's bad. I'm just saying she didn't lose much. Wait, is that not the same clip? Hold up. What?
The roam we initially discussed, the enemy team killed Hector's Senna. The mistake he's referencing is
okay.
Mid
I was
to
like,
help
what?
out her jungler do the dragon. Junglers can easily solo dragon at this point, and her bot lane had prio as well.
I do agree with that. She definitely didn't have to go to dragon, but maybe she was doing something else. We don't know. She catches the wave though, which is fine. He was able to go for the roam, don't get me wrong, but so did Orianna. So they both basically roamed at the same time, so to speak. Top laner just died because he wasn't paying attention. It had nothing to do with the fact that Mouse had prio. I guarantee it, if you decide to try to play Mouse hard in your game, you're not going to get free roams like this all the time. You might get some when people don't pay attention, but I mean, obviously, if they know you're coming, it's fine. Poppy just... I don't know.
How obvious they are, have a high chance for success simply because side laners are completely blind regardless of the elo you're playing at.
Okay, so he's basically saying play off the players sucking. That's not a good way to climb.
For the second part, he does admit his commentary was a bit off. He said it was a mistake Orianna didn't base here, but it's actually fine to stay if she needed this wave for an item.
Yep.
It can be a mistake versus other lanes because, as he said, it gives a free roam timer. As she bases, he gets to push another wave uncontested. Yes, Orianna gets back in time to catch the wave, but Hector would have had priority and could roam a second time for free, as he said.
And you just ping them back. If your team sucks, they suck. Nothing you can do about it.
Why it's not a mistake is that he's a Malzahar without ult. If he were a Kiana, for example, maybe Orianna should have valued. Elo players have the usually good habit of being as...
Like I said, I'm just going to skip a lot of this. A lot of this just turns me off, honestly.
There's a reason all high elo players do it. But if there's no need, then there's no need. I'll wait for her to get back to lane ASAP. Ruined getting a guaranteed lead over recall at area. Hector rotates, and although he does ladder Terp, she has pathing which causes opportunity to collapse to a fight. Hector rotates, and although he doesn't take the best pathing which causes him to miss some kills, it was still an advantage earned by punishing Orianna's mistakes.
Definitely not. It was just an advantage earned because they're playing like monkeys. Poor plays going bad is not... That's why a lot of you guys can't replicate a lot of the stuff that some of these videos teach. Because poor plays do not make you a better player. It just makes you take advantage of people that aren't that great. Right? If a jungler gets a lot of free ganks because they're playing Hecarim and nobody really knows how to ward against that, or Evelyn, like you know your teams be dying to some Evelyns because they're always invisible. Does that mean that that player's a god, or does that mean that the team just sucks? So when it gets to an elo where they actually ward, where they actually know how to play against Evelyn, you're not going to get any ganks off. You're going to start demoting because you don't understand how to play. You're just thriving off the fact that you can beat players. I see it a lot when it comes to Darius, Renekton's, like I said, Evelyn's, Kane's, Kai'Sa's for sure, Jin's. Like there's some champions in this game. Darius, like, did I already say Darius? I meant Garen. Did I already say Garen? There's champs in this game that kind of just thrive off of players being bad. Now, obviously, there's nothing you can really do about that. When the opportunity arises, take it. But the thing is, if there's no opportunities, you're just straight losing the game. You're just going to start having bad win rates. You're going to just start playing poor. And you're going to be wondering, oh, I can't climb, because it's like, well, you've been taking advantage of a lot of bad players and not really learning how to play the game accurately. That's why I always teach in a certain way that I do. I want to make sure that you understand the concepts. I want to make sure that you understand the game so that if you can't get freebies, you know what to do. Not, oh, I can't get fed, or oh, I can't really do anything, so the game just kind of loses from here because I don't know what to do. I'm not, so that's just kind of the way that I teach. I guess I'm just going to fast forward.
Orianna sets up a kill on him. Advantage was still an advantage. Tunnel visions on the bot lane fight while it all gets taken for. What we'll be discussing is an opinion he holds, which he feels quite strongly about. The idea being that turrets are completely overrated and valued way too highly by a lot of the league. Definitely, but the game gets more refined. Players don't really need turrets. You can avoid mid-game side lane ganks by using your brain. And important.
Okay, so I'm going to assume that he just means turrets and not plates. I don't know anybody who overrates towers. They overrate plates. If you're a carry champ, taking plates is fabulous. If you're not, Like, I'm not saying don't value them, but I definitely say don't int for them, because obviously, you know, if you're playing Maokai and you're getting turret plating, oh my god, it doesn't do much for you. But like I said, he didn't say plates, so he'll say turrets. I understand that, but like I said, I don't ever really see anybody who's like, we gotta get this tower, guys. They're usually just like, we gotta get plates, not we gotta get towers. But let me let him elaborate a little bit more.
Don't really need turrets. Take place around turrets. They should be happening near the objective. Players believe that the only value they have is literally just how much gold they give you.
Turret plates aren't down yet, so I don't want to completely concede mid. If they were down, I might just give the turret, because I don't really care about turrets.
That's a bad idea. If it's Heimerdinger, so he can't really set up for picks too much, but when you're doing that type of stuff and you give a mid lane tower down to like an assassin, something that's very good at picking or setting up, you're screwed, especially if the jungler is an assassin too. Do not do that. I promise you it's a bad idea. Actually, let's just go to this game and see if he won it. That is not the play. I promise you that is not the play. He was playing Ari. Is it this one? So he did lose. Yeah, Kaisa, Galio, Talia, like these are very setup heavy champions to give just an open like advantage to. Very, very bad decision. They can set up fights like anywhere because they have enough vision, enough knowledge to know where you are and where you're going. I don't. And as I said, like people can climb without learning a lot of that stuff. He thinks about it this way, but I'm telling you that that does not work when it's dealing with a lot of setup champions. But he's still climbing to D1, and he was master. So you can be too, right? I'm not saying that everybody's wrong or right. There's different perceptions about League that always comes down to what you believe and stuff like that. But I am telling you that if you allow mid to get taken down by a team that can set up assassins and stuff like that, you're in for a really, really bad time. Do you lose a game? No, but you're taking L's when it comes to that mid lane there.
The idea being that turrets are completely really need, don't really take reasons, literally just how much gold they give you.
Because you see, like if we're saying we want to fight for dragon, if you get mid and shove down mid, you can see anyone who decides to walk through the mid lane and come to the dragon, which means you have free reign into the jungle. The game kind of works like this when you take towers. The game kind of works like this. So let's say this tower's gone, right? This is pretty much what you're dealing with now. That's not cool, right? This is a whole bunch of free space that the enemy team gets because you lost mid, right? And if bot lost their tower too, then it's going to be the same exact concept, just like this. So much free space to just give up. Which means that any objective you try to contest, you're just going to get caught out unless you guys group. And I don't know about you, but in solo queue, good luck with like having that happen.
Turret plates aren't down yet, so I don't want to completely concede mid. If they were down, I might just give the turret, because I don't really care about turrets. Now that he can't really get any plates, maybe we can still look.
Turret plates are
The play is over. What would he be looking for? I need to see if he goes for
obviously
the play.
something that you should consider when choosing to concede a his game
Does he
plan
make it?
manages to get
Oh, he does get
top
it.
lane
Wow.
fight that's been going on for a while.
I'm shocked.
Rotating up here, he manages to get here in time to turn around the end of the fight and score a kill.
I give it
Definitely wasn't worth. We're giving up Dragon Prow, we're giving up a tower, and we're giving up free CS. They're allowed, but because everybody's on the top side of the map, we're allowed to get vision in this area, right? And that'd be pretty cool if, let's say, that'd be pretty cool that we go up top like that and just give away this stuff if we're winning. But we're already like not really on the winning foot here, right? I'm not talking about KDA, I'm talking about gold-wise in general. We're not on the winning foot. We need to be setting up for objectives because this kill doesn't do much. What, we trade a tower? So we trade tower for tower and we give up dragon. That is not, like, maybe they do get it though. I don't think that's a good trade if they don't, but maybe they do.
I don't really care about mid.
Let's see.
Overall gold with another play is that
So when was this? This was 14 minutes in. So dragon's coming up in about 15. Okay, it does. 16 minutes. Talia gets it. So their team does not get the dragon. So we basically traded tower for tower, and we gave away a free drag.
the life of your
Means nothing to me.
overall gold with another play on the map, then don't hesitate to do again. Team won the top is Hector's team has been said.
Bro, I know. Okay, we're done here. I don't really like this video. Either this video, it feels like to me this video was either like rushed out or there wasn't a lot of logic going through the video. And as I said, some of these companies, when they pump out so much content, there's some content that's a little bit more high quality than the others. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about visuals and stuff like that. Like I always tell you guys, but when these companies or these, whatever you want to call them, they make some very good visual content. Like the transitions are nice. They're like set up, like the way that it is like some good quality like that. But in terms of information, right? Sometimes I feel like the quality of the information just isn't valued as long as you click it. Especially if you watch 1 or 2 of their videos, you're probably gonna watch number 3 and number 4, which means like really I can make poor quality content, but if you're a loyal subscriber, so to speak, you'll watch what I put out anyway, and we'll still get the views for it. I'm not saying that's their logic. That's just what I feel is happening. This wasn't really. Well, I guess it does say Hector's, right? So I can't really be too upset about that. It does say his advanced macro, so it's not really like general. It's his. But why make it? Because we're all different people. We're all different players. We all play different champs. I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't think this is worth learning about, because like none of this actually makes sense. What we learned so far that we could just kind of put in some bullet points here is if you have more minions than the other team, your wave will shove. If they have more minions than you, your wave will push to you. It will come back. The second concept that we learned in this video is stopping backs. It's very important you stop backs if you can, but you know, if you can't stop the back, it's fine. Shove up and roam when you're looking for a roam, not a rotation. Rotations are when you drop everything and go help. Pretty much what he did mid lane with Ahri, he basically rotated. It wasn't a roam. But the play what he did with the Malzahar is he shoved it in roam, because if you do shove it in first and you set up your wave, you don't lose out on anything, because you shoved it in, you're straight, even if you don't get anything. So it was a roam. It wasn't a rotation. So we learned that we want to shove up stuff to go roam, which is something that you already know, I would assume by now. And if you don't, there you go. And then the thing is about the towers. I would trade towers for stuff, but I just straight up won't lose a tower for no reason. I don't agree with that one at all. So in terms of, is it clickbait in terms of like a grading, I'll probably just say it's an F. Like I said, I do grade harshly, but at the same time, I just feel like this missed the mark on what they were trying to like say, and it definitely isn't something that will help you become a better player, in my opinion, because it's something that you can really replicate. And if you're giving away towers for free, you're not really sure when to give away towers for free. They don't go over that. As I said, you know, some videos like these are one of those where it's like, oh, well, you're telling me not to ride downhill fast. You're not supposed to, it's dangerous, but you're not telling me how to slowly go down the hill on a bike. You're basically just saying, don't go down the hill fast. Okay, well, how do I slow down? Like, what do I do? This is just saying, hey, do this, but it doesn't really tell you how. It just gives you a whole bunch of information that makes it seem like, oh, there's a lot you don't know about the game. Let's break it down. In reality, there's a lot more of a broader spectrum you can be looking at and learning the concepts that way. So sorry if I seem nitpicky or anything like that, but you guys do enjoy this video, so I'm going to assume you guys don't think that's how I'm being. I just want to make sure that you guys are getting the best content possible. I'm not saying my content's better than theirs. I'm not saying all their content is bad, whoever I do these on. I'm just saying the specific video is what I'm looking at. I don't care about everything else. The specific video is what I'm honing in and separating the fact and fiction with. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If you guys would like coaching sessions, make sure you join. Actually, not join. I'm sorry. Make sure you go to my site, coachblicker.com, if you guys want to see advanced videos and advanced guides and, you know, high elo versus low elo, stuff like that. Make sure you subscribe to my Patreon. But until next time, thank you guys for approaching this like a coach.